We lost a true original in Steve Sims. In this clip from Beyond a Million, he talks about boldness and authenticity and how that led him to be one of the most connected humans on the planet. Check out the clip, and if you like it, watch the full episode at beyondamillion.com.
When you work with clients, what are the tips and tricks to get that attention? What's the practical advice for somebody that says, hey, I want to be able to work with a billionaire?
If you want to meet those people, let's give it the tips and tricks. Very, very simple. This is what you do. You find out where they're going to be, what charities they support, what galas they go to. Hey, you can Google and find out where their kids are going and go to that school gala, okay? Find out where they are. You walk up to them with a bit of research of how you're going to help them. But this is the most imperative part that most people go wrong. You walk up and you go, hey, Brad, how you doing? My name is Steve Sims and you don't know me.
Okay.
People forget that bit. How many times with your podcast, with your look, with everything that you do, how many times, especially at something like traffic and conversion, people come up to you and they go, Brad, how are you? And you're stood there going, who the heck is this? Have I, are we mates? Have we gone out hanging out? How do I know?
That's a great point, man.
And you are frozen.
Yeah, we're a unique looking character, so people remember us.
Yeah.
And only in this tiny little frame relative to like a celebrity.
Bingo.
Right? Where
So
everywhere they go. Yeah.
The celebrity is frozen. Okay? And so when you walk up to these people and you go, hey, my name's Steve Sims, you don't know me, what does that do? It relaxes them. They can go, phew. Now, the second they relax, question number 2 comes in. And it's very primitive. What are you after? Selfie? You're going to pitch me on your product? Are you going to do so you've got to feed that quickly. Hey, my name's Steve Sims. You don't know me, but I know you have a podcast. I know it's a great podcast. Have you ever thought of how you can get it on Alexa and treble your viewership? I'd like to be able to help you with that. Would that be of interest? And you fire something out. You give them something based on a problem they have. Now, you think people haven't got problems? Everyone's got problems.
Everyone.
There is always someone richer, prettier than you sitting in a seat in front of you. So you walk up to someone, hey, I hear you like fast cars. Have you ever driven around the Le Mans circuit with, I don't know, a past Le Mans winner? Would you like to do that? Oh, I'd love to do that. All those kind of things. How would you like to sit down and have dinner with Elon Musk? Just one of these things. Now, those are big things. That a lot of the listeners may be sitting here going, well, I couldn't do that.
Right.
Okay? I walked up to a guy, can't tell you his name because I'm still working with him 6 years later. Okay? Silicon Valley guy. I wanted to work with him. I knew what he was working on. I knew the party he was going to be at. And luckily, I saw him on the guest list because I was working the party. So I've been trying to find him. Whoa, he was coming in my garden. So I was happy about it. So I did my research on this guy. Now, he's not Elon, but he's a big venture capitalist. Okay? And I knew he was working on one of the projects. And I wanted him to work on one of my projects. So I knew what I wanted. Okay? So I did my research on this event. And people love threes. I'm going to tell you the 3 ways you can get rich. I'm going to tell you the 3 ways how you can lose weight. I'm going to tell you the 3 ways how you can get the best night's sleep. I can get you 2 ways. No, I don't want to know that. But if I tell you the 3, you're interested. If I tell you 5, you're too bored. Everyone loves 3s. So I had seen what he was working on, okay? And I had to come up with 3 ways to make what he was working on better. I came up with the first one. I could see a problem. And it was on the surface. I didn't know the background of the project, but I could see something. The next one was distribution. Because distribution and awareness and raising money, these are all the common problems, okay? So I found these. Number 3, I had to come up with a 3rd problem that I could overcome, but I had to nail the 3. So I walk into the party, I see him, eyes locked, walking over there. You can see him looking at me, and of course, you notice us when we're walking towards you, okay? I could see the guy go, because I'm coming at him, And he's now, and I went, hey, how you doing? Sort of, stance you up. My name's Steve Sims. You don't know me, okay? All of a sudden he goes, oh, like this. And then he goes, yeah. And he leads, because now it's kind of like, well, what do you want?
Yeah.
Right? And I said to him, I said, but actually, I saw something on the news that you're working on this project. And you take it for what it's worth, but I own a consultancy company I did at the time. And I said, and I just, three things just popped into my mind, how this could trip you up. And I don't know if you looked at, would you be interested in me telling you what I noticed? And he went, all right. I went, well, the first one is blah, blah, blah. But I thought if we did this, because no one wants more problems. So I went over there and I gave him that and a little solution.
Yeah.
And of course, the solution, who's going to solve that? Me.
Right.
Number two, I noticed that you may not have this in place, but, you know, I know that with our clients, we've worked on that. So, you know, maybe you can get someone to do that. Of course, again, expose the solution, you look like the solution.
Yeah.
So the third one was blah, 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 and I gave him to him. And he's looking at me, and he's got a few of his little entourage around him, and they're looking at me, and they're kind of like, who's this weird biker that's come over here that's just kind of like telling us about his company? He starts to laugh. And I'm on about damn near peeing himself. And I'm like, that wasn't the response I wanted. But he's giggling away, and I'm like, all right. And it's going on. He looks at his lackeys. They start laughing, because now they've been given permission by him to laugh at me. Now, I'm not the kind of guy that wants to get laughed at too much. So I've let it go on for a few seconds. And I'm like, all right, can't win them all. You know, this one's died. I go to walk away, and he's bigger than me, and he puts his hand on my shoulder to grab me, to pull me back. So I turn around to him, and I'm not fully turned around, but my head's turned around. He's like, I'm sorry. He said, but we closed that project about 8 months ago.
Oh.
We shut it down. It was because of number two, that you have walked up into a party, seen, while knowing nothing about the project, and offered a potential solution. He said, that may have actually rescued that project. He said, now I'll never revisit the dead, so we're not going to launch that. But would you be willing to work on retainer and have a look at some of our future projects?
Oh, wow.
People want solutions.
Yeah.
Okay, they don't give a shit how pretty you are. Screw your pretty websites. Forget your fancy suits. Forget all of that. They want to know who you are. When you meet me, you know everything about me within 3 seconds. You did when we first met. You know, I ain't the smartest tool in the shed, but he probably gets shit done. You know, but that's fine.
Yep.
You were able to make your assumptions with some form of clarity because I had made myself impossible to misunderstand. Now, I had gone there and I was focused on you, and I gave you some problems. And very quickly, you knew who I was. Through my body language, through the way I turned up, I was making it very, you had no apprehension. Now, that can translate into any way that any marketer is working with their client. How many marketers do we know? The first thing they do is they put a photoshopped picture up on their website to look as pretty as they possibly can.
Yep.
You know, in their best suit that they never wear.
Yep.
You're breathing that gut in and like slight sobers on it. Yeah, you can do it. How many of them do that?
Yeah.
And then they get someone to make the copy so eloquent with words that they could never say, let alone spell.
Yeah. It's like a dating profile, right?
Absolutely.
What I want is the third date. Fuck the first date, right? I don't want your profile. I want to know who you are.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, I appreciate you sitting down and talking for a while. Looking forward to the next conversation.
Cheers, Brad. I've enjoyed it.